Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we have something special in the stand. You never know what you're gonna get. A little bit on the special side. Pack's ready. Here we go. You guys are awesome. Dirty Forks! A 2000 Norco VPS. I never thought I'd have one of these in the stand. Unfortunately, it's been Frankenbiked. It's got a wake stem. So that's the Enduros type style stem that you get off Amazon. And it's upside down. Got a set of race face bars on it. Shimano DRXT shifter actually shifts backwards. The upshift actually shifts down and the downshift actually shifts up. Stroker ride of hydraulic brakes. So the left hand is actually functioning the rear brake. Look at those bar ends. So raised face grips, but they're not in good shape. As you can see, there's a set of Amazon air forks on here. I'm not sure why, but there's some paint going on down here. The seals are actually starting to dry rot, but it is in air and with a lockout. It doesn't have a rebound. Mess of wires here. Back here, we got a Shimano DRXT derailleur, and it looks in decent shape still. And this bike definitely has been painted. It's been painted for sure, but all the welds and everything look really good. That's a pretty big shock. This was a pretty serious bike in its day, for sure. It could be a serious bike again, but it all depends on how much money you want to put into these types of projects, right? You could definitely make it something really, really nice again. The person has a 27.5 inch wheel set. And as you can see, once you throw a tire on there, this bike was not made for 27.5. This bike was never meant to have 27.5s. It was meant to have 26ers on there. He said the guy said to him that it doesn't have a rear disc, but that's an easy fix. But I mean, it's not really, because this is not a disc hub. It's a freewheel hub. So he's got a freewheel on here, but a caliper for a disc. So I'm thinking the guy took the wheel off, and it's not double wall either, which on a bike like this, you need double wall and whatever. But also, like, this is a big indicator right here. It has brakes, which the posts are off, but it has brakes for 26-inch wheels, rim brakes. So I think from my research, what I've seen so far for a bike like this is it did have rim brakes, obviously, and on the front it had a disc. So we're talking like this is either a 99 or a 2000 year. So that's almost 22 years old already. That's insane. So yeah, it was definitely a bike that was ahead of its time at the time. And but now it needs some stuff to help it roll again. And you know, this is all stiff, you know, like that's stiff, and it's got 40 millimeters. It's got 4 10 mil spacers on the headset there, as I'm sure when they got the fork they didn't cut it. So it's stiff. I'm sure once I take that apart, I'm gonna find stuff in there I don't like. I want to make it rideable for him, but I'm not gonna do it at the cost of just saying for the sake of, okay, well, I'll just throw it together. It's already thrown together. It's already a Franken bike. I gotta find a 26er wheel set, which actually I don't really have to find. I have one off my old Giant. And this is the wheel that was on the front. As you can see, the skier is busted. It weighs a ton. This thing weighs a ton. And Michelin tires I still have, 26 by 2. So those will run really well on this bike. I'm gonna dive into it and I'm gonna take you guys along for the ride and let's see if we can make this work. I got the go ahead to make this bike work. This is a 9-speed derailleur, but it's backwards. Like, look at that. It's a 9-speed. I'm gonna put an 8-speed cassette on, so. But I do have a 9-speed cassette. I might get inventive tomorrow. Maybe I might, because this derailleur, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it except for it's backwards. And I think I might actually try a brake bleed after all on these before I give up totally on the hydros. I took the headset apart and yeah, there's no grease at all in there. Bottom either. There's no grease on the crown race really. And that's how the bearings looked when I took them out. So the bearings are in good shape. Like they feel plastic, but I think they're magnesium, but they're very light. There's no foam. It's obvious that that will wear much quicker than if there was foam in there. Some SRAM butter. There was absolutely no oil in these forks when I took them apart. So I want to try and save the shifter and derailleur because it's a good derailleur. It's very, very smooth, as you can see. Like, it's really smooth. It feels good. Jockey wheels are awesome. The bearings are still good. Cleaned it up. So yeah, I would like to save that XT Dior, even though it's backwards. It's just something unique, and the shifter as well. There's really nothing wrong with the shifter. So I'm thinking if I can get this, I have this 9-speed cassette just sitting around, and it's a Shimano HG, and see if it fits on this hub, which it should fit on the free hub, and that way, you know, this is an 8-speed, and we can keep, because it's a 9-speed shifter that's originally on this bike, we can keep it a 9-speed shifter and keep the original derailleur on there. Otherwise I gotta change to a derailleur that's not quite as good. I have to change to a Shimano Tyranny because I like a challenge, and you know, I don't really like to give up too quickly. I can always go and do those changes that he agreed to. want to save it if I can. Shipped it all clean. And I'm just gonna take it apart here. If you're gonna do this, go the extra mile. That way you can be confident when your customer comes pick up their bike that you've looked at every possibility here. It looks good actually in there. And right there, you've got some grease left in there. Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch it. But if you don't open it up, then you don't know, right? That's actually the best looking internal on a shifter I've seen that wasn't my own. I can tell now that this fork steer tube has not been cut, and whoever installed the star nut installed it crooked. So that's not good, really. I'll have to fix that. I'm at a standstill right now. The only thing I have left to do is a brake bleed. It's taking shape. Everything fits nicely. I got that 9-speed cassette on the back and it actually shifts flawlessly. So it's so cool that I got that to work. It's all nice and clean. The chain looks brand new, but it's not. I just took it off and soaked it in the good stuff. Comes out like that. I still have to lube it, but I'm gonna wait to do that just to make sure the brakes work once I get the bleed kit. So I'll probably do them tomorrow, and if it doesn't work, then I've got a backup plan. So until tomorrow. This is what you're going to need: a pair of gloves, the syringe, a longer piece of plastic with the correct fitting for the bleed port on the levers, a catch basin, a 2mm Allen wrench, a 5mm Allen wrench. The 2mm on this specific brand is for the pin, the retainer pin for the brake pads. The 5mm is for the anchor bolts to the adapter or the frame. A bleed block. This end here is a T10 Torx, specifically for the Hayes brakes that we're going to bleed. This is also a T10. If you don't have this guy, then maybe you have this guy hanging around with a ratchet socket, which I do not use this during this bleed. I just use this. This is a number 6mm box wrench, and this is a 10mm box wrench, and we only use this side for this bleed to press the pistons in. still the lead plug. Happy to report that the bike, I got the brakes bled, and the bike is really coming together. I got 30 pounds of pressure in both, and you can adjust it if he wants to. Cool bike.